Man, you ever watch someone push their luck for so long that when everything finally snaps, it feels like the whole universe just said, all right, that's enough? Well, imagine that energy turned all the way up, then throw in flashing lights, locked wrists, and a whole crowd watching. And that's the wild collapse of Jack Doherty. This dude went from cruising in McLarens and tossing money around like it was parade day to getting cuffed up, kicked off every major platform, and staring at his shrinking bank account like it betrayed him. Jack Doherty didn't just take a small hit. He got slammed by reality so hard it shook his whole online kingdom. He went from acting unstoppable to sitting at home asking his own mom to follow him back on Instagram and watching his followers drop faster than his old flexing videos used to rise. So let's break down where the chaos officially started. Because the Miami arrest, that's when the public got front row seats to his whole image cracking apart in real time. Jack was down in Miami doing what he always did, trying to turn every street corner into a scene for content. He was promoting some gambling site, standing in the middle of traffic like the road belonged to him, yelling, causing trouble, and doing the absolute most just to get a clip. People watching were like, is he serious right now? But Jack kept pushing it, thinking he was too big to get stopped. He was loud, he was reckless, and he kept acting like the rules didn't apply to him even when cops were right there watching him stir things up.
Yep. Jack Doherty in jail. Jack Doherty in jail. Barbecue chicken alert. Oh my God, what amazing news.
Jack had his whole squad out there. Bodyguards posted up, cameras pointed at him like he was shooting a movie, and he's walking around with that same over-the-top confidence he always carries. He was hyping himself up, acting like the whole street was his stage, and everyone around him could tell he thought he was untouchable. But then, the cops pulled up, and the whole vibe shifted in a split second. For the first time in Jack's life, that massive bodyguard he drags everywhere couldn't do a thing, and you could see the shock hit Jack's face, like he got splashed with cold water. It was that look people get when reality finally steps in and says, yeah, this stops now. They put the cuffs on him right there while everything was streaming live, and the reaction online was instant and explosive. People were reposting the clip, making jokes, reacting in real time, and turning it into the biggest moment of the day. The internet practically celebrated together like they'd all been waiting for this moment, and seeing him get walked off on camera had everyone talking nonstop. People online weren't cheering just to be petty. They were reacting because this was the moment Jack finally had to deal with real consequences instead of internet drama. This wasn't some prank, some staged moment, or some fake hype for a video. This was the legal system stepping in. So here's where things got serious. Jack got slapped with a felony possession charge for amphetamines, and that's not a light situation at all. In Florida, that counts as a third-degree felony, which on paper can mean up to 5 years locked up and a $5,000 fine, something nobody wants hanging over them. Then there was the marijuana situation, around 20 grams, which is considered a misdemeanor, but it still lands on your record and follows you around. And on top of that, he caught a resisting without violence charge, which basically happens when someone decides to talk way too much and ignores simple instructions from officers. But before people start imagining Jack serving a full 5-year sentence, here's where things get more realistic. Maximum penalties almost never match what actually happens, especially in cases like this. Jack doesn't have a criminal history.
The longest, most miserable 24 hours of my life. Like, I literally can't believe I'm out now, and I'm just so freaking happy and thankful.
No past charges. Nothing on record that would push the court to go harsh on him. And Florida courts usually don't throw first-time drug offenders straight into prison unless they're out here distributing or involved in something violent, which wasn't the case in Jack's situation. So while the charges look heavy on paper, the actual outcome is likely to be way lighter, more like probation, mandatory programs, fines, or something that still checks him but doesn't put him behind bars for years. It's still a wake-up call, though, because having those charges alone is enough to damage opportunities, reputation, and every big move he thought he had lined up. And the whole world seeing it unfold made everything even messier. So the most realistic outcome for Jack is straight-up probation, probably somewhere around 6 months to a year, maybe even longer if the judge decides Jack's attitude needs extra correcting. But here's where things actually get wild, because probation isn't just stay out of trouble and walk away. Judges can stack on conditions that completely flip your whole lifestyle upside down. We're talking surprise drug tests that could hit him any day, mandatory counseling, and even limits on where he can travel, which is a huge deal for someone who's always hopping around trying to film every moment like it's a chase scene. These conditions can really box someone in if they're used to living loud and reckless. But the part that's got everyone talking, the judge could hit him with restrictions that directly affect his content. They can legally bar him from making videos that involve anything illegal, sketchy, or disruptive in public. Just imagine Jack Doherty stuck on probation and literally not allowed to do the same wild harassment-style pranks that blew up his channel in the first place. Picture him trying to film a video without blocking streets, without yelling at strangers, without stirring chaos, without pulling any of the messy stunts he relies on. It would change his entire online identity overnight. He'd be sitting there trying to create safe content while knowing one wrong move could get him violated and back in front of a judge. It's like his whole brand is suddenly playing against him, and now he has to figure out how to stay relevant while being monitored, restricted, and held to rules he never thought would apply to him. This kind of probation would flip his whole world, because the thing he built his name on would become the exact thing he's not allowed to touch anymore. That kind of restriction isn't just a setback. It's basically career shutdown with a court-approved stamp on top of it. If he can't film the same wild content his audience expects, his views, his revenue, his whole online hustle is going to drop hard and fast. But hold up, because the legal mess doesn't end there. Things are about to get way messier. While Jack's tied up dealing with criminal court, there's another storm that could hit him from a whole different direction. A civil lawsuit that people haven't fully caught on to yet. His ex-girlfriend, McKinley Richardson, might end up having a potential case to bring forward depending on what her lawyers decide. She hasn't filed anything at this moment. But the door isn't just cracked open, it's hanging off the hinges, especially with his recent arrest painting him as reckless and unstable in the public eye. This timing could not be better for her legal team if they choose to move. Now, if the things she expressed publicly are accurate, like saying he persuaded her to start an OAF account, took control of it, kept anywhere from 50 to 70% of what she earned, and then embarrassed her at that staged wedding live stream where he basically labeled her a user and a gold digger, those claims hit a whole different level. That's not just messy behavior. That's the type of stuff that lawyers look at and say, yeah, there's room to build here. We're talking potential claims like intentional emotional distress, shady agreements made under pressure, invasion of privacy from filming parts of their relationship without proper real consent, plus possible defamation from statements he made publicly that may have harmed her reputation. Again, all of this depends on what evidence she truly has and what her legal team decides, but these are the types of angles attorneys explore when building a civil case. And honestly, if McKinley's lawyers are sharp, and you know they probably are, they're watching everything unfold right now with the biggest smirk, because Jack's arrest gives them a massive advantage. They could walk into a courtroom with footage, headlines, arrest records, and say something like, "Your Honor, this individual is currently facing felony allegations. Look at his pattern of behavior." Suddenly, her claims don't look emotional or exaggerated. They look backed by a pattern, they look believable, and they look like something a judge would take seriously. This is the kind of situation where one legal problem doesn't just stay in its lane, it spills over, boosts the next case, and makes the overall disaster even bigger. And the timing couldn't be worse for Jack, but couldn't be better for her team. Lawyers could easily walk in and say, "Your Honor, this guy acts reckless. He moves unpredictable. And our client needs protection from that energy." And boom, a restraining order could land fast if a judge feels the situation calls for it. Once a restraining order is in place, any civil case becomes way smoother to push forward because it sets up a pattern of harmful behavior that the court has already acknowledged. After that, all they need to show is the financial impact. But wait, it gets even uglier for him. After his kick ban, Jack tried sneaking into TwitchCon, a big official event he wasn't invited to. And true to form, he immediately started causing chaos, harassing other streamers, yelling offensive slurs, and being completely disruptive. Twitch security didn't hesitate. They kicked him out on the spot and slapped him with a 1-year suspension for violating the code of conduct at an official event. So even if Jack wanted to come back on Twitch, he literally can't right now. The math stopped working months ago, and the results are clear. Jack isn't just losing influence. He's facing a full-blown financial collapse. The lifestyle he once flaunted, The cars, the staff, the wild stunts, all of it depended on cash flow that doesn't exist anymore. Now, every day is a struggle to keep the lights on, and everyone watching is calling it what it is. Jack Doherty is going broke and fast. Yeah, Jack might joke about being back at his parents' house, but let's be real. With all these sky-high expenses plus looming legal bills, that joke could turn into his actual reality faster than anyone expected. And the wildest part, Jack still acts like he can bounce back from all of this chaos, and his actions are proving that he's not just naive, he's recklessly overconfident. Straight after getting released from jail, he shows up at a nightclub rocking a custom t-shirt with his own mugshot plastered on it, streaming the whole thing to his followers. He's hyping up how traumatic jail was, saying stuff like, "Bro, that was the longest, most miserable 24 hours of my life. I literally can't believe I'm out now. I'm so freaking happy and thankful." But then, almost immediately, he's bragging about the drugs that got him arrested in the first place. Seriously, he's putting all his cards on the table for anyone paying attention. Jack even admits he hasn't slept in days, and he's talking about how Adderall made him successful, basically turning a confession into a highlight reel that prosecutors could absolutely use against him. At this point, he's practically serving probation violations before the court even sentenced him, just by existing on stream and oversharing. It's like he's actively sabotaging himself and doesn't even realize it. Or maybe he does, and he just doesn't care because he's so desperate for content and clout that he'll risk his freedom for views. Either way, it's sad, it's pathetic, and what's worse is that nobody in his inner circle seems to be stepping in to help him think straight. Jack's not just losing control of his life, he's accelerating the crash all on his own, making it almost impossible for him to recover without serious consequences catching up fast. But the truth, Jack brought this chaos on himself. Every reckless stunt, every wild flex, every bad decision, it all led to this. And now, he's finally facing the consequences he spent years ignoring. The internet isn't feeling sorry for him. We're all just watching the fall in real time, popcorn in hand, because this is what accountability looks like when it finally catches up with someone who thought they were untouchable. Jack Doherty didn't just lose everything. He threw it all away. Cars, platforms, sponsorships, clout, and even his so-called friends. It's all gone in a flash. And it's a perfect example of how quickly a reckless lifestyle can implode. So, what do you think happens next for Jack Doherty? Will he find a way to recover, or is this truly the end of his streaming empire? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed the breakdown. Share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the latest celebrity and content creator drama. Peace out.